Like if there was a drug, like you're saying, that drug, you know, when she walked in on you, if you had that fucking feeling, I mean, that's like the end of like, what was that Argo movie or whatever, that Ben Affleck movie, what the fuck?
Where they get,
Where you're in the plane, you're like, let's get the fuck out of here. Like that's that same feeling.
Ladies and gentlemen, we reached 15,000 feet. We are clear out of missile strike range. You're like,
yeah. I had that feeling when I left fucking India. I did a gig in India, and they had this thing where I had to send my passport to San Francisco to the fucking whatever, the consulate or whatever the hell it was, to get a work permit. And then it said, just to let you know, when you get there, you got to go to the embassy to get, or some fucking thing to get a piece of paper so you can leave. Like, if I don't get the piece, it's not a big deal. So I fucking go there, and I'm only there for 36 hours. So I land the night before. And we're literally driving there, and there's those guys in like the scooters, but they're also like enclosed. Oh my God, I'm in fucking India. This is amazing, right? And so that day I go down to the fucking embassy thing, and like they won't let the promoter go in. And then it's just me, English speaking dude, and I'm in there trying to get this piece of paper saying that I could leave. And then there was this pop star who plays the piano, gorgeous woman. They didn't let her leave. That was the story they told me. So-and-so was here, and they didn't let her leave. And I'm thinking in my head, they didn't let her leave? There's no fucking way they're letting me leave. So I went up there, and I was just talking to the people, and I just remember I was hanging out with this chick from Afghanistan, and she was trying to get out. And I was like, this is like fucking Stripes. Where he was going like, son of bitch, shit, son of bitch, shit. Except I was in the class. I wasn't teaching the class. So I just remember finally, I was getting really nervous, and I finally, I got this piece of paper. And I said to the lady, I go, so if I show this at the airport, this means I can leave, right? And they have this thing over there where where it's not yes or no, they don't nod, or they do like this bobblehead thing. So she just goes like, I'm like, what does that mean? And she just sort of laughed, like, maybe, maybe not. So that night I'm doing my gig, and I'm just like, fuck, man, like in my head, I'm like, I don't know if I can get out of the fucking country, right? So I fucking do the gig, and then afterwards, I hung out with all these comics. It was hilarious. They were asking me all normal comic questions.
Yeah.
How do you write? Do you write on stage? And then finally some guy goes, who's the comic out there selling the most tickets that you just don't think is funny? And I was like, oh my God, this exists over here? Great kids, right? So I got to the airport, and fortunately, I was taking a red eye out, so there was nobody there, and I kind of guerrillaed my way past this guy, because he's looking at the paper. You need blah, blah. I go, I got the paper right here, and he's looking at it. I go, I missed my flight or whatever, and he's fucking doing this shit.
Yeah.
I was just like, buddy, I gotta go. I'm gonna miss my flight. And he was like a slight sort of dude, and I just fucking got through it. And then I got on the plane. I was just like, what the fuck? And we were flying to Dubai, and I didn't feel comfortable until we changed planes in Dubai.
And you left Dubai?
And got out of Middle East airspace.
Yeah.
Because that was another thing. They always say that flight accidentally shot down by fucking whoever, right? So then once we got over wherever the fuck, Turkey, Greece, then once we got over there, then I was good. And that was the greatest flight, because we used, I used up all my miles, and we flew Air Emirates, which is the greatest fucking airline.
Top notch.
It's the sickest plane.
Yep.
Stewardesses are all hot like back in the day.
Dude, you get your own little private room.
Oh, no, that's like 15 grand.
I flew that from
Right, don't
Bali.
big league my story before you fucking
Sorry.
So I go to get up. Now I'm feeling good, like, oh, thank God, I'm getting out. So I walk to the back of the plane, like first class upstairs, and I walk to the back to go to the bathroom, and I walk in the back, and there's this big open area with these people standing around. There was a semicircle stand-up bar with 6 people sitting on stools, and then this bench, and I was like, oh my God. So I went back to the seat. I go, Nia, come on back here. She goes, what? Come on. I go, I want to buy you a drink. She goes, what are you talking about? And I walked her back there. She was like, oh my God. And we sat down on the bench. We both put like seat belts on.
Yeah.
Clicked the glasses. And it was an amazing tour. I actually flew around the world, because I started in Australia and New Zealand, then went to Singapore, Hong Kong, and then Mumbai. And then from Mumbai, Dubai to New York City, and New York back to LA. So all you flat earthers out there, I'm telling you, it fucking exists.
I was thinking about doing that to start my fall tour. I'll say it, but I'm doing St. Petersburg and Moscow to kick off the fall tour. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about going around the country, going around the world the other way, doing a date in Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Hong Kong, Mumbai. I would love to do something in...
I would route it a little different than that. I would go start in Mumbai, then go Hong Kong, Singapore,
No.
If you go Mumbai, if you
No. I want to start in. I want to start in L.A. Go Australia.
Oh, okay.
Singapore.
Okay, yeah.
Mumbai.
I thought you said
Dubai.
go to Russia.
And then go to Russia.
And then go down
I want to
here
go to
and then
Russia
go back.
from Dubai.
Russia from Dubai. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because
cool.
I think that'll be a shorter flight, and I think I can fly Emirates, and those fucking planes are
Amazing.
the greatest. You get your
Dubai is like shady though.
no, you can get
like a
you can get
slave city.
cheaper tickets on Emirates when you're not flying, like those Emirates flights from like New Zealand to I took one from Bali to New Zealand. It was actually kind of affordable. I want to say it was like $3,000 to fly first class,
right?
And you had your own private bar. Like you had it was like a hotel bar, and I just was like. By the way, I travel with little bottles of myself, so I was like, oh, I'll drink mine, and then be like, oh, I just got it from there, and just fucking, I love that.
Did you ever flown Singapore Airlines?
No.
That's another great one.
For real?
Just sick plane, gorgeous stewardesses. Like it's just like back when flying was glamorous.
Yeah.
Before they just, I don't know what they did to it in this country. They just ruined it. They just treated people like shit. Like the way people show up, they dress like you.
Dude, I dress up on a plane. Like I just started recently wearing tracksuits.
I think people dress appropriately on a plane because they treat you like shit.
Yeah.
And then they and then there's this awful like chicken or egg thing. Like what happened first? The behavior of the people on the plane or the way the airline treated you?
It's got to be the first people on the plane.
The way they behave?
I think so. I think
when
flight attendants lowered their behavior based on what they were dealing with.
I think at that level, but the corporations, what they did was they forced it in. No, you know what happened was I think they deregulated airline travel, and that allowed all these different people to start an airline.
Yeah.
And then that started this price thing, and then flying became a cheap thing. And then that allowed any mouth breather to get on the plane, and I think it lowered. It's like casinos. Like back in the day, people had, if you didn't wear a sport coat, the mob wouldn't let you come down.
Yeah.
Now you can go down there in like flip-flops and a thong with your kid and play slots at like 2 a.m.
A week after 9/11, I was in an elevator with a guy, and he was on his cell phone, and he was saying to his accountant, I'd never heard of this airline before. He goes, I want to put everything I have in Southwest Airlines. And I remember thinking, you're going to invest in airlines right now, like thinking that. And I was like, and I've never heard of this airline in my life.
Right.
And he goes, Southwest, I'm telling you, man, they're going to change the game with airline travel. They're going to make it so that everyone's going to be flying. You're going to be shocked. I mean, he's on the phone. I want to invest everything in Southwest.
Yeah, and that's been terrible for the environment. Like, I don't understand why the fucking video conference has not taken off. Why do all these poor fucking people have to get on a goddamn plane every fucking week to sit across the desk? I could sit there and FaceTime my kid. You can't FaceTime a fucking meeting?
Yeah.
I just don't understand why there's still 9 zillion fucking people at the airport. Are you guys all on your way to the Funny Bone? Where the fuck are you going? Like, I understand during spring break, holidays, I understand that, but like all of these fucking people, and then you just see like middle of the school year, you just see like mother, father, and the whole family. Like, it's just like, where the fuck are you going? Aren't they supposed to be in school?
Yeah. I always say that with
traffic everywhere. Like, I think traffic, it's Uber, Lyft, and Postmate people just circling, waiting for someone to fucking call them. Because people try to do the thing, well, if they didn't pick you up, you'd be out there anyway. It's like, I would go out there and drive to where I'm going and come back. I'm not out there circling, waiting till I figure out where I want to go. Like, I feel like LA now, you already had the traffic. Now you took basically all the cabs from New York and you stuck them in LA.
Yeah, we didn't have cabs. When we just first had George and Isla, I would take a cab to the Improv because I was going to drink. And getting a cab was so fucking difficult. You had to call 30 minutes ahead of time.
Yeah.
You never was certain they were going to show up. And getting a cab out of there was like a nightmare.
Yeah.
But have you done, I know you haven't, but have you had the experience of Uber in LAX today?
No.
Oh. Have you done it? It is a fucking nightmare. It is a nightmare. They have sectioned off one lot where all Ubers show up and all people have to walk to this lot from wherever the fuck you were. You have to walk a half a mile to this fucking lot or take a bus there.
Good.
And there is no way anyone's getting an Uber from LAX. They are trying to kill Uber in LAX. Not the town cars. Town cars can pull up.
Because of that horseshoe fucking design.
Yeah.
That they just keep doubling down on. They just keep stacking it up. It's the worst fucking design.
It's the worst
ever.
fucking design.
No, have you ever seen the VIP way to get in there?
Are you talking about the one on the other side of the airport?
$4,500 just for a membership, and then it's like $2,700 on the way out and on the way back, plus your first class ticket. It costs you like 10 grand.
We took it.
You did it?
Hold on. We did it for a helicopter. To take a helicopter to Burbank, you can use that facility for $1,000. So it's $1,500 to get a helicopter from here to Burbank, and then $1,000.
Is that Orbic Air?
I don't know. I'm not certain. But you get on the plane, you get off the plane, and someone meets you, like a concierge meets you at the plane, and then drives you. Like,
you walk down those steps.
You walk down the steps.
Jetway,
you get in a Range Rover. They drive you across the tarmacs to the other side. That place is through the fucking roof. I mean, it's gorgeous, beautiful facilities. We were doing it. I was doing it because we were taking a helicopter, and I was like, well, fucking $1,000. I'm never gonna get to go there.
I thought you wouldn't fly in a helicopter. Because you was like, it's one bolt.
Yeah, no, I did it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, all of aviation is one bolt.
I did it because I wanted to shoot a promo video for some dates that I needed to sell tickets on. So I figured I was going to make fun of Joe Coy and all these guys driving and flying private jets. I was like, who's flying home in a helicopter? It is a 7-minute flight. For $1,500. It's one of the coolest flights I've ever taken. You are literally 20 feet above the ocean, just. Then he cuts over the 405 and just tracks it for a little bit. And he's like, take a look at the traffic. It's 6 o'clock. It is slam packed. He's like, come on. And then cuts this way. And he is down. It is a 7-minute flight. And you're like, all I can think is that is the quickest way I've pissed away $1,500 in my life. But I was only home for 15 hours. And I was like, and you know, when your brain, I start going, I'm not gonna fucking wait. I'm not gonna spend an hour and a half in traffic when I have 15 hours home. My kids are gonna be asleep. I won't even see them. I'll wake up. They'll go to school. I won't even see them. So I took the helicopter. It was one of the coolest experiences of my life.
Yeah.
That fucking.
I've been trying to tell you that, dude, forever. I did that flight the other day.
Did you?
Well, I did a 3-hour flight, and one of the things I came down the coast of Malibu over the Palos Verdes, no, not Palos Verdes, I came down, the hell's that called? The Pacific Palisades.
Yeah.
And then you stay out of Santa Monica's airspace and all that. And that's my thing. Like, I love looking at like all the brake lights. Where the fuck's my phone? I can show you like some of the sickest. You look at some of the pictures, especially when it rains out here. When you go up into the, you go like north of Santa Barbara and you get into the hills. It looks like you're in Ireland.
So wait, how hard is it to get a helicopter right after it rains? Are all the helicopters rented? 'Cause it's like the prettiest time to fly, right?
No, not really. No, people just fly all the time. It's not like that. It's just what's great about right after it rains. Because anytime you look out and it's really clear.
Yeah.
Clear air usually means there's some sort of wind, there's turbulence, because it's blowing all the haze and all the crap out of there. So the more hazy it is,
the smoother
the air is, which is sort of, you know, it's just like life. You always got to pay a price. So the greatest thing ever is after it rains out here, is it knocks down all that dust and all of that shit. And then if there's no wind that day, if you're flying, like LA is one of the most beautiful things you'll ever fly over. It's gorgeous. It has some of the most beautiful homes, and just as far as the topography, the stuff that you can see, like. I mean, you can literally, like, if you leave out of Burbank and you just sort of go like northwest, I mean, you just leave civilization and you're just fucking out over. I remember one time we landed like in the middle of this field, and I don't know what got killed out there as far as an animal.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty decent sized skeleton. And it was just sort of littered all over the place. Yeah, we were like, oh my God, did we stumble upon this serial killer or whatever? But we were just in this fucking green field. And then, like, if you're with somebody that's like into Hollywood and shit, like we flew over and he goes, look at this hill here. You see this hill?
Who are you with?
Just one of the pilots over there that I fly with. And he goes, this hill right here is where Little House in the Prairie, where that little girl would run down the hill and would fall down. I go, this is where they drove all the way out here back then? I was like, yeah, they shot this.
We were
here.
somewhere in Malibu the other day, and they go, see that hill? I go, yeah. And they go, that's the Paramount Hill. And I went, what? He's like, yeah, on the other side, that's where they shot all the Paramount movies. That's the hill. And we were like, do you know there's a lake in Malibu? Lake Malibu? It's like,
no.
Oh, dude,
I just see.
You must have seen beautiful fucking houses flying.
There's weird ones too. There's one, a guy has a house who was like really into the Flintstones, and he literally made like the stone house, and now he doesn't live there. It's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. It just sits on top of the hill. There's another person who was really into airplanes and took old parts from like a 747 and made it into like a house, and like there's a big, like the wing is like this crazy deck that goes out in like a triangle.
Did you at all?
Then there's just like in like Santa Barbara and in Malibu, there are just houses along the ocean that you're like, that's a resort, right? And they'll be like, no, that's just one guy's house. It's like, what the fuck
did that guy
person do? What did they do? Yeah, you go up to Santa Barbara, you see like fucking Oprah's house. Oprah's house is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like the amount of land that is just around.
When you went to buy a house, did you take a helicopter up and look at? Did you ever look at houses that way? Because I would have done that in a heartbeat. Because I was looking for land when we went to buy a new house. Mm-hmm. I wanted land more than anything, and I wanted to get up in a helicopter and just find a parcel of land.
Why don't you come up with me? I'll fly with an instructor. You can feel
then
totally
no one's going to write that obituary. Bill Bert dies with opening act.
Well, we could do like just some of the stuff that you can see. You fly by the fucking Reagan Ranch. You fucking library. Real? Yeah, you fucking dive down in. You look at the fucking Air Force One. Do it all the time. Probably shouldn't say that, but yeah, do it all the time. And then when you get up by Camarillo Airport, which is so amazing, where it's basically where the valley stops, is the elevation goes up, and it's Conejo grade, and then it just drops down and into like Oxnard and all of that, and it goes right out to the ocean. And you get out, and then the marine layer comes in. Got to make sure you stay underneath that. But like,
really,
it's fucking wild, dude. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then there's like. I mean, it's endless. There's times there's a military base up there. I remember one time I was flying down and they were telling me, like, they were letting me transition through, and they just let you know, there's whatever the fuck they say. There's two planes coming in. I'm sitting like, I can only see one. And the guy with me, he laughs. He goes, just watch. And I just see this guy coming in like this fucking F whatever, cruising in, flying in. And at the last second, I realized there was two of them because they fly so close together. So then when they come in for a landing, they do these hard turns. One lands and the other one is like, I don't have to like cover him, stays above him, and then fucking loops back around and then goes. And I'm in my little egg beater, like going, like that. These guys like flying by, like, what the fuck? I mean,
would you want to fly in one of those F-15s, like in the back seat?
I've never been into speed. Those guys always try to make you puke, and it's just like, I don't want to be inverted puking on myself.
Yeah, I don't want to be inverted.
I always feel like that's their sport, which I think is really Bush League.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'd be like me calling you up on stage and having a fucking joke off, as I've been doing stand-up for like fucking 30 years. So
I have no interest in throwing
I would like the Red Bull guy. I met one of those Red Bull helicopter.
Oh, the guys that do the stunt pilots?
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I watched this guy take off. I couldn't fucking, but it was like watching a spaceship.
Yeah.
The level of power that this thing has. Like, usually, before I go to take off, it's, left, right, just, kind of making sure like that, right? Making sure my tail's clear and all that shit, and then you just go like that. This guy has to do all of that shit and then look like that, because this fucking guy was like on the ground, and then he was like, like 1,000 feet in the air. It felt like in 3 seconds. I mean, I was like, if I was in that thing, you'd be like your stomach all the way down to your ankles. It was unbelievable, the power.
I would like to do the Top Gun stuff where they go in the canyons and vroom, 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 like that. Seems like it would be fun, but I don't really care about
You just got to make sure you're with somebody that is going to look at it first, make sure there's no wires, and then there's also another fucking thing where I don't really fly a lot of. Occasionally, I'll fly a 44 that has hydraulics.
Yeah. The
22 that I fly, it's literally like a car with no power steering or power brakes. You really have to fly it like and the main rotor is really short, so it's fucking squirrely. But that's why I have most of my hours, so it feels normal to me. And when I get in anything else, it feels like a Cadillac. I'm like, oh my god, this thing flies itself. So there's a thing with hydraulics. I forget what it's called though. But if you were to fly. And if you were making like serious inputs, like slam, slam, slam like that, what can happen is, I don't know, something with the liquid or whatever, it gets stuck here. And what you have to do, and you don't have enough strength to pull it back, so what you have to do is you got to chill and let it sort of fucking, whatever, it reset, and then you can go back. So there was some fucking idiot doing that in the Grand Canyon with a whole bunch of people in there, and it got stuck, and the fucking rock face was right, boom, over.
We took a
Fucking
helicopter.
over. So make sure if you're gonna go out with somebody who's gonna do some shit like that, it's like there's a fine line between having fun and then being a YouTube video.
We did.